Parallel agents are the future of generative coding. I'm going to show you 3 workflows that you can try today for safely developing with parallel agents in a single code base. Specifically, I'll be demonstrating these workflows with Claude Code, but all 3 of them will work with pretty much any coding agent like Cursor or Gemini, whatever. These workflows will get increasingly sophisticated, with the last example being the most powerful. In that one, I'll demonstrate container use, which is a newly launched open source project from Dagger, built by the creators of Docker. So that tool could end up being a really big deal. That section of the video is sponsored by Dagger, and I think you're going to find it super cool. But first, let me start by introducing what I mean by parallel agents with a very simple example. This is the first workflow. Here's what our project looks like. We're going to build up to workflow number 3 for container use by first showing Git Worktree. I'll show a quick start guide to using Git Worktree with Claude Code, but we're starting with the most simple way of doing parallel agents, which is simply to copy the project folder. And I'm going to talk about trade-offs of each of these use cases. The first copy folders workflow works as simply as you might imagine. We're going to copy the project. I have this React project. I'm going to copy it to agent A, and we're going to build one version of the feature in that folder. And I'm going to copy it into agent B, and we're going to do one version of the feature in that project. So I've got, this is what it looks like right now. And if I do LTT on my computer, it'll show me what's inside of these. And you can see agent A, and it has the full React project. Agent B also has the full React project, and so does, the original project. This guy's going to be like our project we want to sort of merge these back to. Now, going into agent A, let me actually try and run this. And if I say npm run dev, it should run things, but it doesn't. And that's because when I copied the folder over, it screwed up all of my node libraries. So I need to reinstall. I'm going to say npm remove our node modules, and then npm I. I'll reinstall those. And now you'll see this command is going to work fine. And I'll just show you my website. So that's the first drawback with copying the folder. You've got to reinstall stuff or paths get screwed up. So this is my website, and I want to build 2 different features into this feature. One on this guy, agent A, and one down here on agent B. We'll compare these and see which one is better. And I have this Claude Code command, add more effects when the user clicks the initialize connection button. And I'm just going to run that on both of these at the same time. And while this is running, I want to show you a few things. So I'm going to open up new tabs. We can kind of see what they're up to over on the left-hand side. But going back into agent A for this guy, and let's look at Git. So if I'm on my main branch right here, and if I say Git branch, there's going to be a lot of Git, lots of stuff. This video is kind of intense. All right, so let's accept these changes, keep that going. Over here, I'm going to go back. So I'm just in my, every time I open a new Tmux pane, I go into like sort of the root project, and I can go into agent A, or this is agent B. All right. So down here, if I say git status, oh, he's already made some changes, and this guy's on origin main. So this is also on main branch. So do you see what's going on here? If I say git status up here, yeah, they're both still working, but they're both making different changes to my source code, and they're both on the main branch. Now I could have branched both of these out. I can still do that. I can port all of these changes over to a different branch, but actually working in this way is not bad because I'm on main and I can just commit these. Let me show you. So these are both done, and let's see. So they have some overlap, but they're going to be different. Let's run this guy. npm run dev on agent A. Same thing on agent B, and let's compare these. Here's the feature. When I click this button, that happens. And then this one, when I click this button, this is agent B. We can see a little more effects happening here, but these are not really doing what I want. I want these to both be more pronounced. I've got this, I can barely notice, make it more crazy. Agent A on the left gave me this. All right, and agent B is this. Whoa, that's pretty cool. Since I like agent B better, I want to keep this one, and I want to delete agent A and then get agent B synced up with the main project. How I would do that is I need to commit this to Git. So I would git add the changes, I would commit them, update, animation, something. Now I can push those, and this will push it to the remote repository. And if I see git status, so everything's clean in agent B now. And what I can do is go back. I've got all my projects. Let's go to this React project. This guy is behind. He's like, hasn't caught up yet. So I've got to pull. And now you'll see him pull in the change. So this one just pulled in that change that we committed from agent A. And now we can continue working. And the last thing I'd want to do is clean these up. So I'll say RMR agent A. And I will also do that. Ooh, I got to RF, get rid of that. And same with agent B. That's the copy folders workflow. Now I'm going to show you the Git Worktree workflow, and I'm going to explain why this is better. Going into this, I have the same thing set up, my same website, and let's use Git Worktree here. I'm going to go into my website, and I'm going to say Git Worktree add -b. So this will create a new feature. I'm going to call it links section update, and I'm going to call this one agent A. Then I'm going to put this into a new folder, agent A. And if I look back, it just copied my project into this folder. But notice how it worked instantly. Let me show you that again. I'll do this for now, but for agent B, boom, instantly. So already better because we're not actually copying so much stuff on our computer. Next, if I say git status, here I'm still just in my main project. I'm on main branch. And if I say git branch, I'm going to see that there were two branches created. I've got one for agent A and one for agent B. Here's where it gets cool. I can go into agent A right here, and if I look at git branch, I've got access, like I can still see the full Git environment, but now I'm on agent A branch. And if I do the same thing with agent B, let me go over there and I'll say git branch. Here I'm on this agent B branch. Here's what I've got then. Going into agent A, this is my node project, the one version of it. And down here, I'm gonna go into the same thing, but agent B. So same project, same deal as before. And I'm gonna need to install this. I'll need to go ahead and install these things again in both of these. The reason why is because they didn't have any NPM libraries. Do you see this? There was no node modules. They never got copied over here when I did the Git Worktree. So I have to install those. This is another downside of Git Worktree, that you'll see container use addresses. Now I've got two versions, right? We've got version A up here, and down here we've got agent B. And I'm going to do the same thing as before, but now we're going to be building properly using Git best practices, where here I'm on agent A, and down here I'm on agent B branch. Great, so let's build two different features. This first one, I'm saying that to update the links section of the single page app, focus on improving click-through rate. That might be something I want to do, get more people to click on my links. Down here, I'm going to have a different focus. So the same thing, update the links section, really vague, but now I'm saying focus on aesthetics. And I want to see what these two versions of the feature look like. Let's get the same setup going here. Going into my Git Worktree, npm run dev for both of these. So agent A is on 8080, B is on 8081. That means I can just refresh these and we're going to see these different versions. And the links section is down here. Here's what agent A has done. It's updated my links. They now look like this, looking good. And down here, agent B has done this, and they look a little bit different. Similar idea, but yeah, you can just see slight variations. Also, this little status online thing is underneath, which is kind of cool. Well, I don't really love either of these, but let's just say for the purposes of the demo that I want to go with agent A. I'm going to pick this guy, and let's commit these changes and bring them into our main branch. Here's how we can do that with Git Worktree. Now, I'm not a Git Worktree expert by any means, but let me show you what I would do. Over here in agent A, I'm going to look at Git status. I can see these changes that have been made here, and I can commit these now. Let me add these and commit them. Update links section. Here's agent A stacked on top of agent B, and then we've got the main branch down here. And what I want to do is bring these changes from A and push them now into the main branch. And if I look at agent A, let's do git log. Do the same thing for all of these. What this means is these two are the same. So agent B is the same as the main branch. We never committed these changes from agent B. However, agent A has an additional commit, and I want to bring that commit now and push that into my main branch and then clean up this work tree. If you're enjoying this video, you should subscribe to my newsletter. I just send one email a week when I release a new video. For example, here's a recent email that I sent, and you can see a link off to this video where I talk about GPT-5. And in other news, I've been updating my course course, the AI Engineer Roadmap with video lessons for every different topic in the course. Here you can see them all laid out on a grid. Each of these is a full video presentation, and I'm integrating that into Zazencode's, my website, down in courses, the AI Engineer Roadmap. And if you come here in September, you'll see all of these videos existing for each of these topics. And if you sign up today, you'll get full access for life, and the price is only going to go up from here. So you can check it out if you're interested. I'm going to say git merge, and we're going to bring in this feature, and it was called links section update agent A. Boom. So it just pulled in that change that I've committed. And now if I look at the git log, you can see it's the same. This is the same hash ID as this Git Worktree. Now that I've updated the main branch with the changes from agent A, I'm happy to remove these Git Worktrees. And looking at Git branch, let me show you this before I start. I can remove these like this. Git Worktree, remove agent A. This is a relative path to agent A. And that worked. So if I look back, agent A is now gone. And if I see my Git branch, agent A still exists, but it's no longer highlighted in blue. So to me, that's indicating it's no longer a work tree, it's just a regular branch. Let's try the same thing with agent B. Fatal. Agent B contains modified or untracked files. Use force to delete it. Because we never committed these, save me from removing those changes. However, I don't care about those changes, so I'm going to force remove that. Now it's gone. That code's been deleted. And if I look at Git branch, the same thing. It's now just a regular old branch. So I could clean this up for reals, and I could say git branch -d, and then link section agent A and B. The code is completely gone. I just have my main branch with my changes. Here it is, update links section. That was a lot of work and a lot of Git and command line stuff. And I'm going to show you how all of this is simplified with container use. Going into the container use demo, I'm going to start by showing you how to install this thing, and we're going to run a quick demo on this Hello Dagger. Following along with the quick start guide, the first thing I did was say brew install Dagger tap container use. But if you're on a different platform, you can use curl like this. Either way, once you've done that, you can say container use version. You can also just say container use like this and pull up a help menu. And there's lots that we can do in here. For example, I could say container use list. There's nothing in here right now. And we're going to start building some stuff, and we'll see this container use list getting populated with different versions of our code with parallel agent tasks. We can also do container use watch. And I'm just going to keep this open throughout the demo so we can look at what's going on. The next step for container use is to point your agent at the tool. And I'm using Claude, and I'm going to add this as a MCP server to Claude using this command here. And I'm going to be working in this Hello Dagger repository. This is just something I set up. It's a really basic Git repository with literally nothing in it. This README is completely empty. And let's get started with using Dagger. Now, if I just open Claude in here and type MCP, there's no MCP servers configured. Now I'm going to run this command. This adds this MCP server to this specific folder, just this local project. Now when I open up Claude and I type MCP, I can see container use is available, and it's attempting to connect, and here it is. It's connected. I can go in here and look at all the tools I have. This is how container use works. It's using MCP to do this parallel agent stuff. I'm going to get out of Claude Code because there's one more thing that I want to do before I actually start this demo, and that is this command here. Save Claude MD file at the root of your repository. This will take their agent rules, so it's going to curl, it's going to fetch this from GitHub and append it to the end of your Claude code file. So even if you have a Claude MD already, this command is safe to run. And once I've done that, I can see I have this Claude MD file with this content. Always use environments for all files, etc., etc. And this is instructing Claude Code to properly use this integration for container use. Let me get started with a really quick demo of this. Build out a simple Python script, hello world, and update the README. Let me start by creating an environment and implementing this. Creating development environment. And now we're going to see some tool calling stuff. So container use environment create. It's creating an environment for this to happen, for this work to happen in. It's called it sought pup. Now it's asking environment file write. It's starting to actually build this feature for me. Now that container use watch was not working. Let's go into hello Dagger list. So I've got to be inside of the folder if I want these container use commands to work, because they're going to be project specific. And here I can see sotpup hello Python script development created 53 seconds ago, just to update it. And that's this feature up here. Now it's saying I can use container use log sotpup to see how this went. I'm actually, notice how we're seeing commits. These are commit IDs and commit messages for all of the work that was done inside of this feature. Now this is the really interesting part. Look at my files. I don't actually see it in my local directory. If I look at the README, it's still empty. What I need to do is check out this. So container use checkout and then the name of the thing, which was sotpup. And once I do that, look at this. The code has just appeared for me. So it was inside of this containerized environment. And do you see how easy it was to switch to that? By the way, if I look at Git branch, you can see it's actually created a branch in Git to track all of this work. And lastly, if I open up Vim, I can see this. So it wrote some hello world script. It has a README file and it updated how to do that README file. And it's already committed this stuff. So git log. I can also switch branches using Git. I'll say git checkout main. Now looking at Git branch, I'm back on main, which means I don't have these changes anymore. And I can use container use to merge these in. Say container use merge, and then the ID of this thing, which was sotpup. And now, boom, it's pulled my changes in. And look at this, because I did a git merge, I've got these already committed and ready to go. Now, of course, you can customize the commit behavior. You don't have to take these commit messages. You can redo that. But if I look at lazy git, let's have a look at what's happened. Do you see how it kind of created this little feature branch and it sort of added these commits over there and then it merged it right here back into my main branch? How cool is that? And following the style of this video, now let me clean this up. Container use, delete, sotpup, and have a look. Now I still have all my changes. These have been updated and I can list, I don't have anything in here. This was a great warm up for container use, but now stuff's gonna get real because I'm gonna be building a feature into my own application. And again, we're looking at all of this familiar code. This is all for my website, but now I've already got Dagger use configured. So if I look at my Claude MD, it's got all these Dagger container use instructions in here. By the way, I forgot to mention that this all runs on Docker. So if I look at Docker PS, I can see 9 minutes ago, that's when I started this demo, and Dagger has pulled an image and it's running on Docker. So if you don't have Docker running, this container use is not going to work right now. Now what I've done is I've opened up this same project, same exact place on my computer with 4 different panes. We have 4 views into this, and I'm going to run Claude Code in parallel on all of these. And as they run, we're going to see container use, and I'm going to watch the changes. Next, there's one thing that's super handy, and we're going to run this command. When we launch Claude Code, I'm going to specify the list of allowed tools. This way, I don't have to accept all the tool use calls. It's automatically going to start using these. And I'm going to spin up Claude 3 times. Under normal circumstances, all 3 of these Claude codes would be working on the same code base, so they'd all be stepping on each other. But now they're all going to work in separate containers. The first one I'm going to ask is redesign this website to have a fantasy RPG style theme. The next one, I'm going to redesign the website to have a Barbie theme. And in the final example, I'm going to redesign the website to have a super minimal feel. You can see lots of different logs from these 3 different tasks. They've each been given IDs. It looks like this one is still prompting a command, this edit environment source. I'll accept those. And now it's really cooking. We can see lots of changes happening here. Replacing Cyberpunk color palette with Barbie themed colors. And just check out this commit log. Safe Rhino's committing a whole stream of stuff, doing all these different things. Great Mudfish is doing all of its work with the Barbie theme. Now these have all finished up. Let's have a look. The first one made all of these changes to do the RPG redesign. Let's go into Safe Rhino. Container use diff Safe Rhino. And since this was such a big feature, there's going to be a ton of changes in here. Way too many to review. What I really want to do is check this out. Safe Rhino. You can see this branch, npm run dev. Looks like I never actually installed npm, my libraries here, npm run dev. Try that again. And this is what it looks like. So that's not great. I've just said it's not working properly. I can't see anything except the background. Meanwhile, let me go and look at quick anteater. I don't know what this one is. Maybe the minimal one. npm run dev. And this is my minimal version of the website. It's definitely more minimal. Yeah, I don't like it as much, but it's done the task for sure. Just for reference, let me show you my actual version so you can see what this minimal one did. It definitely looks more minimal, and like these funky features I made are, oh wow, it's already pushed that live. I have a Git workflow, so when I push that change, it actually literally updated my real website with that. Right, so I like my my real website better. I don't want this minimal version. Right, let's try the last version. Container use checkout, great mudfish. And again, if I look at lazy Git, my little Git tool here, look at all these commits that have changed. So all the actual changes were not just made in like a global environment where you have to deal with it. It also committed them for you with commit messages, which I think is amazing. Let's load this one up. And here's my Barbie theme. Okay, this is good. This is what I'm talking about. What do you think, guys? Should I commit this? Wow, that's cool. All right. Let's check in with the fantasy one. Looks like there's some errors. I don't know, something's going wrong over here. I'm getting a persistent error with connecting to this session. So what I'm gonna do is restart Claude Code up here. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm just dumping in the whole error that I get from like when I try to load this app. Right here, I'm saying work in the safe Rhino environment. Because I've done that, now we see all of these container use commands, these tool calling things, have an environment right here of safe cu safe Rhino, right? Like that. Check this out, container use list. Look what's happened. It's created a new ID called living bluegill. Fix is connecting error. So it broke out of safe Rhino and started, it like forked this into a new ID. Check out living bluegill. npm run dev on this one. And here it is. All right, it fixed it. That's very exciting. What happens when I do this? Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so it did it. Arcane engineer. Well, it's better than the Barbie one. Let's commit this. In order to accept that version of my website, let's start by looking at git branch. And I'm gonna do git checkout main. Then I'll just merge that. And I'll do that with container use. Container use merge, and it's called living bluegill. Though these changes have just been merged into my main branch, and I'm on my main branch, see, right here. And again, let's look at lazy Git. Check out all these changes. Now, these have not been pushed yet. These are staged files which have been committed from container use. Now I can commit these, push these, and actually update my website. And I can simply do that just with git push. Let's do it. Here's my project. And you can see right here, see this pending task? It's gonna actually run, it's running this deploy to AWS right now. Okay, this is a success. If I go to gallia.dev, this is my actual website on the internet, and we've pushed it. Not too bad, not too shabby. That's the end of the demonstration today, and if you learned something, if you like this, please give me a like on this video and consider subscribing. You can tell I'm really excited by container use. I do think these parallelized agents represent the future of AI code gen. You can see the benefits. I've illustrated some of those in this video, how we can just create multiple versions of features and quickly pick them and throw them away. And in the future, this is just gonna get easier. This video, like, it's never gonna be harder than it is today to do this. But container use to me could be the winner. It could be the way that this is done. It's built by the same creators of Docker, and that thing won. That's how we do containers. So I think it's worth paying attention to. I hope you enjoyed this, and I really do hope you try it out. Thank you for watching, and namaste.